All right, well, why don't we go ahead and actually begin laying down on the mat. That way we can have some time to get some stretches in at the beginning. Then we'll build up into our usual flow. We'll finish out with our Shavasana. So go ahead and make your way laying down onto your mat on your back. You can just let your feet extend down the length of the mat. And let me know if the music is too loud or if it's too quiet. I can turn it up or down. And just go ahead and take a moment, maybe just gently roll the shoulders a few times on the mat until you can soften the shoulders down away from your ears. Bring your hands down by the hips. Flip the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling. And you're welcome to close down the eyes here if you would like to take this time at the beginning of class to just quiet the mind, calm the thoughts, and just let yourself breathe. See if you can breathe in for a count of 1, 2, 3, and out for 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. Just keep working to really connect to that breath here. See if you can let go of everything else that has passed in your day to day. And just use this time to focus on your practice, on your breathing. This is a great chance to set an intention or a goal for our practice today. I'm going to join you here on the mat. So again, with every breath in, feel the lungs inflate, feel the chest rise, feel the belly. Breathe in, inflate, and exhale, breathe out deeply. Let that tension melt out of your shoulders, out of the upper back. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Just enjoying a little bit of mindful stillness and meditation at the beginning of our practice. And then when you're ready, on that next inhale, go ahead and point the toes up towards the sky, flexing through the ankles, and then bring the fingertips up by the head. Biceps by the ears. Take a full body stretch, pointing through the toes now. Keep breathing, lengthening through that stretch. Maybe exhale, soften through the spine. Another inhale, reach another inch further. And exhale, bring the hands back down by the hips. When you're ready from here, we'll inhale, draw just the left knee in towards your chest. Interlace all 10 fingers underneath that left kneecap. Make sure the low back is lying flush into the mat, that you're not overarching that back off of the mat here. And let's start to make this a little bit more of an active stretch. Breathe in to draw that knee closer into the body. Make sure all 10 toes are gently curled in towards the shin. Try not to hunch the shoulders up towards the ears. Just let them really soft and flat and flush into the mat. Just opening up through that hip joint. Let's slowly, on that next inhale, guide that left knee into that left shoulder, that left armpit. Using some tension out of that IT band, out of those hip flexors. 1 more deep breath in, and exhale, release left leg down the length of your mat. Inhale, bring your right knee in towards the heart. Again, making sure the hips are staying neutral on the mat, the low back is flush. Try not to overarch through that low back, okay? You want to feel that back be supported on the mat. See if you can engage through the biceps a little bit more, make this more of an active stretch. Really hug the knee in towards the chest, in towards the heart. All 10 toes are curled in towards the shin. And then on that next breath in, draw that right knee over in towards that right shoulder, opening up through that right hip flexor. We're starting off a little slower today, so really use this time to find that steady, even pace breathing that will lead and guide you throughout the rest of your practice. As you exhale, release right leg down the length of the mat. Inhale, let the palms of the hands press into the mat by the hips. Breathe it out, soften the shoulder blades in towards the mat. And then from here, inhale, bend through the knees, walk the palms of the feet onto the mat, walk the heels into where you can almost graze them with the back side of the hands. Can you press the shoulder blades in towards the mat? Let the back leg flush here. Take a deep breath in. We're going to slowly lift the hips off of the mat, squeeze through the glutes, start to engage that core. So try not to overarch that low back. You want to feel this tightening through the glutes, engaging the quads, and waking up that core. Let your upper back, your shoulders support you here, not your neck. And if you'd like to have a little bit more engagement through the upper body, you can press the fingertips into the mat, feel the elbows hover just half an inch off. You're gonna feel that wake up through the triceps. Nice job. Keep breathing, squeeze to the glutes. And exhale, soften all the way back down into the mat. From here, inhale, bring the knees about in line with the hips. The quads are in line with the hips. Your shins are parallel to the mat. And just take a moment, point through the toes and flex through the toes. Point and flex, point and flex. From here, keep the toes gently flexed. We're gonna inhale, extend the legs all the way, the legs up the wall. Keep the toes gently flexed, the feet gently flexed. Make sure your low back is laying flush into the mat and that the quads aren't lifting up towards the face. Do your best to keep those quads, the legs in line with your hips. Breathe in and breathe out. On that next inhale in, lift the fingertips up as if you're reaching for the toes, and then start to engage a little bit through that core to lift the shoulder blades off of the mat. You're gonna bring all 10 fingers behind that left calf or behind that left thigh. Slowly release right leg all the way down towards the mat. We're gonna work into a hamstring stretch here. So as you inhale, you can draw that left knee closer in towards the face. Exhale, soften that tension out. Inhale, draw that leg closer in towards the face. Exhale, soften the tension out. One more time. Inhale, draw that leg in as close as you'd like. And then exhale, soften that leg back in line with the hip. Inhale, lift right leg up to meet the left. You can just let yourself breathe here for a moment to this leg up the wall. And then again, reach those fingertips up towards the sky. Inhale, use your core strength to gently lift the shoulder blades off of the mat. Bring all 10 fingertips behind that right calf or right thigh as you slowly lower left leg down to the mat. Just try to avoid placing the hands up directly behind that knee though. So again, from here, inhale, can you draw that right knee a little closer to the face? Exhale, maybe soften out. Inhale, we lift, stretch through that right hamstring. Exhale, soften, last one here. Nice deep hamstring stretch. And then we exhale, soften that right leg back down to the mat. Beautiful job. Whenever you're ready, inhale, bring both knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a nice big hug here. And if you'd like to, you can gently sway from side to side. Give that low back a little bit of a massage. And if your hips are feeling tight, you're welcome to come to the center and just gently rotate the knees clockwise a few times. And then reverse it, rotating the knees counterclockwise. Just gently opening up through the hips, loosening up here. And whenever you're ready, come back to the center of your mat. We're gonna interlace all 10 fingers underneath the kneecaps and just rock and roll a few times forward and backwards until you're able to come up into a seated position. Let the palms of the feet stay on the mat. Your sit bones are rooted in towards the earth. And let's start to wake up through that core a little bit more. I'm gonna pivot this way so the sun's not in my eyes. So starting here, make sure those sit bones are rooted in towards the mat. We're gonna bring the backside of our hands to the backside of the thighs. I want you to gently incline the upper body back about 45 degrees. Keep the eyes up towards that corner of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. From here, begin to engage through the core. Take a deep breath in. Lift both palms of the feet off of the mat, coming into our first boat pose. Now the hands are always welcome to stay back here on the backside of the thighs for a little extra support. If you feel comfortable and ready, you can extend the fingertips out in line with the shoulders. Remember to keep breathing here. Try not to hold that breath. Hopefully that core is starting to wake up. One more deep breath in and then exhale. Give yourself a nice little hug here. Awesome job. Let's go back into that boat. So starting with the palms of the feet on the mat. Hands can start on the back side of the thighs, or they can go ahead and just extend out line with the shoulders, incline upper body back. About 45 degrees. Inhale, lift the palms of the feet off of the mat. Shins are parallel to the earth. Fingertips are in line with the shoulders. Breathe in and breathe out. Take another deep breath in. Another deep breath out. Last one here. Breathe in. And exhale, set the palms of the feet down onto the mat. Beautiful job. When you're ready, extend those legs down the length of the mat. We take a moment, point and flex through the toes. And then from here, making sure the sit bones are rooted in towards the mat. You're seated up nice and tall. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, press the palms of the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, release the fingertips down by the hips. And just move through that at your own breath pace. Inhale, to sweep fingertips up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale, press palms together. Exhale, hands down by the hips. 2 more times here. Really try to match that movement to your breath. So inhale to sweep up. Exhale, hands heart center. 1 more time. Inhale to press up. Exhale, hands release down by the hips. And when the hands come down by the hips, go ahead and plant all 10 fingertips onto the mat with the fingertips pointed towards the toes. Take a moment, maybe rotate the shoulders a few times forward, and then a few times back, until you can soften the shoulder blades down the length of the mat. Have a slight bend in the elbows here. Let's move into that staff pose. As you take that next breath in, you're gonna lift the seat off of the mat, shift your weight a little bit to the fingertips. Feel that release out of the low spinal column. Exhale, soften the seat back into the earth. Inhale, fingertips lift up towards the sky. Exhale, hinging just through the hips, reaching the hands down towards the ankles, the shins, or all the way around the toes if you prefer for your seated forward fold. So we want to avoid rounding out through the shoulders like this. Instead, can you think about keeping the chin in a neutral position, keeping your eyes towards the toes. Inhale for maybe a little more lift. Exhale, get a little deeper into that forward fold. Inhale for a little more lift. Exhale, get a little deeper. One more time. Inhale for that little lift. Exhale, find that deepest point of your first seated forward fold. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. Remember to maintain that steady, even paced breathing today. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift those fingertips all the way back up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's stretch it out through the hip bones a little bit more. From here, go ahead and bring the inner edges of your feet to touch. Make sure the sit bones are still rooted in towards the mat. If the hips are pretty tight, scoot the ankles out a little further away and it'll help you guide the knees down towards the earth. If, however, your hips are feeling pretty open and you'd like to work on increasing that range of mobility, you can hug the heels closer in towards the body. So we're gonna start just with a nice little fluttering of the legs, ease some tension out of those hip flexors. And then when you're ready, come seated up tall, center in the middle of your mat. Your sit bones are rooted, the upper body's lifted. Let's inhale, sweep fingertips up towards the sky. Plant the palms of the hands to face the front side of the room, and exhale, slowly lowering down, using your core strength to stabilize you here until the fingertips can reach down towards the mat. And then maybe walk the fingertips a little further away, making sure those glutes, those sit bones stay rooted the whole time as you work to come into as deep as you would like to go with this. You're gonna feel a deep stretch through the groin, through the inner thighs. I'll be softly and gently open up through the hip flexors here as well. So even though we're reaching down towards the earth, we really want to avoid rounding out through the shoulders. I want you to think about lengthening, broadening through the chest, opening through the heart even here. And when you're ready, slowly walk the fingertips back closer in towards the ankles until you're up into that seated position. Place the hands on the outer edges of the knees. Inhale, close the knees together like the pages of a book. From here, go ahead and sweep the legs over to the side. Make your way into a tabletop position on all fours. Once you have found your way there, go ahead and make sure the shoulders are stacked over the wrists, knees are underneath the hips. And let's take this time to move through the body any way that you'd like to. Maybe taking some nice big circles of the hips, maybe shaking the tail from side to side. We're moving through a few rounds of cow and cat, whatever feels good for you. And then when you're ready, meet me back in that neutral tabletop position. Make sure your shoulders are stacked over the wrists, knees are underneath the hips. Go ahead and plant toes in towards the mat. Let's inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, release the heels, down dog. Pat off the legs in this first down dog. We're gonna bend one knee, extend the opposite leg, and then swap it out. So I really want to encourage you guys here to grip the mat with all 10 fingers so that way you're not shifting your weight into the wrists. You're going to feel like gecko fingers here on the mat, building a little bit more strength through the shoulders, through the upper body. And then whenever you feel nice and ready, whenever you're done pedaling out through the legs, meet me back in that center down dog. Let's keep warming up through that core. So in this inverted V shape, I want you to do your best to maintain the upper body in this position. You're going to take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to lower the knees down to hover an inch off of the mat. Inhale, press the hips back up towards the sky. Exhale, lower the knees, hover. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower the knees and hover. 2 more times. Use your core strength to maintain stability here. Moving slowly and fluidly. Last one, exhale. Bring the knees down and hover. Feel that little crunch to the core. And then we inhale, lift the hips up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, slowly walk the feet up to meet the hands. Forward fold. You can bend the knees as much as you'd like to. Really let the belly rest on the thighs here. Let the crown of the head reach towards the earth. Feel that stretch through the hamstrings. With forward fold, we really want to avoid locking out through the knees. If you'd like, you can stretch out through the wrists. You can rotate them clockwise and counterclockwise, or you can just let them hang out here on the mat. Whenever you're ready, inhale, move into a halfway lift. Nice, strong, flat. Back palms of the hands are resting on the shins. We don't want to, again, lock out through the knees. Soft bend here. Press the hips back. Reach the head and heart forward. Use your core strength. Build a little more stability. Find a little more length in the body. And then when you're ready from here, maintaining this halfway lift, inhale, bring the fingertips in line with the shoulders. Getting a little deeper into this halfway lift. On that next inhale, we're going to rise up, press the fingertips all the way up towards the sky, moving straight into extended mountain. Awesome job. From this extended mountain, go ahead and take a steeple grip with the fingers. Inhale here at the center. Exhale, we'll fold over towards the left side of the room. Think about pressing that right hip over to the left, or sorry, that hip over to the opposite side of the room. Inhale to the center. Let's fold it over towards the right. Press your left hip over towards the left side of the room. That way you're getting that full length along that right side of your body. Inhale to the center. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a deep breath here. As you exhale, hinge through just the hips. Maintain a 45-degree angle, neutral spinal column, bending through the knees, moving into chair. So you may feel that the quads are going to want to flare out. I really encourage you to engage through those leg muscles, through those quads. Bring the knees slightly in, closer to the midline. Your hands at heart center. Let's see if you can keep the eyes forward today. Breathe in. Exhale, can you lower the seat another inch? One more inhale. One more exhale to lower. And then release all the way into that forward fold. Beautiful job. Hopefully the body's starting to feel a little bit more warm, a little bit more open. Let's plant all 10 fingertips in towards the mat. Step the left foot back, step the right foot back. First high plank. Awesome job. So with the high plank, again, use your core strength to maintain that stability. Try not to dip the hips down towards the mat. We don't want the hips sticking up towards the sky either. Creating as neutral of a spinal column as we can. Lift the belly button up towards the spine. Inhale, let's lean that plank forward. Exhale, low plank or all the way down to the mat. Inhale for up dog. And exhale for down dog. Pedal up through the legs. Go ahead and meet me back in your down dog whenever you are ready. Awesome work, guys. Breathe in and breathe out. Whenever you're ready from here, inhale. Let's lift that back right leg up to the sky. Do your best to keep that right thigh pointed down towards the mat. The toes are gently curled in towards the shin. As you exhale, you're going to release that right foot down. Tap onto the mat Inhale, lift right leg up. Exhale, toe tap. Inhale, lift right leg. Use your core strength here. One more toe tap, you got this. And then inhale, lift right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, bring right knee to the nose, set right foot in between both palms of the hands, lift into the fingertips, a runner's lunge. Beautiful job. So with this runner's lunge, that back left hip, or the back left heel is lifted, your hips are centered and neutral. Try not to round out through the shoulders, keep the shoulders down, away from the ears. From here, let's release the left knee down and towards the mat. Plank the top of the left foot in towards the mat, and doing your best to keep that right knee directly over right ankle. You can slide that left foot back a little further to get a little deeper into this left quad. When you feel center and steady here, inhale, we're gonna lift the fingertips up towards the sky, or you can bring hands just to heart center, maybe even hands onto the hip if you prefer. Just find what feels good in your practice today. Remember to use your core strength to maintain your balance. As you exhale, release palms of the hands back down to frame that front right foot. Plant left toes back into the mat. Inhale, lift the left knee off of the mat. Beautiful job. Whenever you're ready, maintaining your runner's lunge, you can narrow the stance if you prefer. Use your core strength to inhale, slowly rise up into your crescent lunge. So that back left heel still lifted. Right knee is bent 90 degrees over right ankle. The fingertips can stay lifted up towards the sky, or hands can come down to heart center. Just make sure your shoulders and hips are centered to the front side of the room. You're using your core strength here to maintain your balance. Try not to overarch through that low back. Breathe in and breathe out. When you're ready, we're all going to inhale. Lift the fingertips up towards the sky. As you exhale, you're going to sweep the fingertips towards the back side of the room. Let the palms of the hands point down towards the mat, airplane arms. Inhale, sweep the fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, reach fingertips to the back side of the room, palms down towards the earth, airplane arms. 2 more times. Really working through that upper body here. Last one. And then inhale, lift back up into that runner's lunge. This time, exhale, release hands all the way down onto the mat, framing that front right foot. Let the palms of the hands come down into the mat. Walk that right foot over towards that left hip crease. Release left knee down to the mat. Plant the top of the left foot in towards the earth. Moving into our pigeon pose. Really opening up through the hips here. Try to avoid rolling over into that right hip. Stay in the center. And again, if you have that room or you'd like to work on increasing that mobility, you can bring this right shin a little bit more parallel to the front side of the mat. You can stay lifted on the palms of the hands, or you can always come down onto the forearms. You should feel this stretching out across that right side of the hip. Let yourself breathe. Keep the heart lifted. There is no pain here. Moving within whatever feels comfortable for your body today. And then let's inhale, walk up onto the palms of the hands. Make sure the hands are about shoulders width apart. Plant left toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift that left knee off. Let's go for a little core challenge here. As you inhale, can you bring right knee to right elbow, hold it here. Exhale, extend right leg to the back edge of your mat. Inhale, lean that plank forward. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Pedal out those legs. Or you can always just hold that down dog if that feels better. Okay, 3 breath cycles here. Really working to challenge yourself with maintaining that steady breath in this inversion. And then when you're ready, as you exhale, release the knees down towards the mat, big toes to touch. Press the hips towards the heels, child's pose. Awesome job. Really let yourself have this time to breathe, to connect to your breath, soften and sink down all the way into the mat. Let the arms relax into their sockets. No tension, no pressure here. And then when you're ready, slowly inhale, lift the hips off of the heels, coming back into that tabletop position. Toes can be in towards the mat, or you can plank the tops of the feet into the earth. And again, you're welcome to take this time to maybe move through a few rounds of cow and cat. Maybe you'd like to just move those hips in those big circles, or you can just maintain that neutral tabletop position, whatever feels good for you today. You shake the head yes, maybe shake the head no, whatever helps you to just let go and release. When you're ready, maybe back in that neutral tabletop position. Your shoulders are stacked over the wrists, knees are underneath the hips. Plant the toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift the hips to the sky. Release the heels a little closer to the mat. Down dog. We're going to take that sequence to the other side now. So again, making sure you're gripping the mat with all 10 fingers. Inhale, lift left leg to the sky. Try not to open left hip to the side of the room. You want to keep left thigh pointed down towards the mat. Use your core strength to maintain your balance here. Breathe in, exhale, release left toe down, toe tap. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, toe tap. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, toe tap. 2 more times. You got this. Last one. And then inhale, lift left leg to the sky. Exhale, bring left knee all the way to the nose. Step that left foot in between both palms of the hands. Lift into the fingertips, a little runner's lunge. Your left knee is directly stacked over left ankle. Your eyes are reaching towards the front side of the room, back right heel is lifted. Breathe in, exhale, soften right knee down towards the mat. And the top of the right foot in towards the earth. If you have that extra room, you can slide that right leg a little further back. Do your best to keep this left knee stacked directly over left ankle, so that way we're not drawing that knee forward or pressing it too far back. Make sure the hips are neutral, and then whenever you're ready, gather that core strength. You either just bring the hands onto the thighs, onto the hips, or lift it all the way up towards the sky. Or again, hands can be a heart center. Lots of options. There should be no tension in your low back. Use your core muscles here to support your balance, to support this strength in this stance. And then exhale, slowly soften the hands back down into the mat. Plant those right toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift that right knee off. And if you'd like to adjust the stance, you're welcome to do so now. Just make sure your left knee is still stacked over your left ankle. Whenever you're ready, keep the back right heel lifted. Use your core strength. Inhale, we rise up, crescent lunge. Hands can either be up towards the sky or they can be at heart center. Just make sure left knee is still bent over left ankle. Your hips are square to the front side of the room. Your shoulders and hips are square to the front side of the room. From wherever you are at, let's all inhale, lift fingertips up towards the sky. As you exhale, hinge the body slightly forward, airplane the arms to the back side of the room. Make sure the palms of the hands are facing down towards the mat. You're gonna feel that in the triceps. Inhale, lift up, crescent. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, airplane arms. 2 more times, you got this. Move with control. Last one. Airplane those arms. Inhale, lift up towards the sky. Exhale, release back down into a runner's lunge. Slowly walk left foot over towards that right hip crease. Release right knee down towards the mat. Top of the right foot in towards there. And again, you're starting off with the hips in a neutral position, just like here, so that way we're not rolling over into that left hip. If you would like, you can stay here with that left foot tucked in towards that right hip crease, or you can work to bring that left shin a little bit more parallel to the front edge of your mat before lowering down onto the forearms. You're always welcome to stay here on the forearms, or you can stay on the palms of the hands. Whatever helps you to get a little deeper into your pigeon today. You're gonna feel it stretch out across this left hip flexor here, this left IT band. Again, try not to roll over to one hip or the other. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and slowly inhale back up onto the palms of the hands. Make sure the hands are about shoulders width apart. Plant right toes in towards the mat. Inhale, lift that right knee off. Let's go for that core challenge. Inhale, can you bring left knee by left elbow? Hold here for a breath cycle. And then on that next exhale, step left foot back to meet the right for your high plank. Inhale, lean that plank forward. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Pedal out those legs. Awesome work, guys. When you're ready, meet me back in that center down dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Maybe exhale, side out through the mouth. Release some heat. Deep breath in. Exhale out through the mouth. Last one. Deep breath in, cleansing breath out through the mouth. And then as you inhale, walk the feet back up to the hands. Forward fold. Let the crown of the head reach all the way towards the earth. Let the belly rest on the thighs. You slow the heart rate back down, slow the breath back down. And let's add a bind here. Whenever you're ready, keeping the crown of the head reaching down towards the earth, belly resting on the thighs. Inhale, sweep just the fingertips towards the ceiling. Let the palms of the hands press together on the small of your back. Inhale, extend the palms up towards the ceiling, making a closed fist with the hands. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Awesome job. Really let the belly rest on the thighs. Let your eyes draw to the back side of the room. And then we'll exhale, release palms of the hands back in front of the toes. Inhale, halfway lift, nice strong flat back. Use your core strength to maintain that balance. Press the hips back, keep the shoulders lifted. Try not to lock out through the knees. And then when you're ready, inhale, bring the biceps in line with the shoulders. Reach the fingertips forward. On that next breath in, slowly rise all the way up to stand. Extending mountain, beautiful job. Take a deep breath in at the center. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Our feet are about shoulders width apart here. Let's finish off our practice today with just a little bit of balance work. So whenever you're ready, start to shift the weight over to that standing right leg to start today. As you take that next breath in, inhale, lift opposite left leg 90 degrees off of the mat. Make sure the hips are in a neutral position. You can place the hands on the hip bones to check. That way that left hip isn't higher up than the right. Keep your gaze on something still and unmoving. Maintaining the stork. Awesome job, you got it. Take another breath in. And then exhale, set that palm of the foot down on towards the mat. We're gonna take it to that same side with the option to move into standing strong forehead to knee. So when you're ready, shift the weight back over to that standing right leg. Let's inhale, shift the weight over, inhale, lift that left leg off of the mat. Toes are gently curled in towards the shin. You can stay here and stork, or if you'd like to challenge that balance, can you press that palm of the foot towards the front side of the room. So you're gonna feel this left hip want to divot like this at an angle. Really do your best to keep the hips neutral. Use your quads here to lift that leg a little higher. You're gonna feel this really fight and like wake up here. Breathe. And when you're ready, bend through your left knee, set that left foot down on towards the mat. Maybe shake that tension out of the legs. We're gonna take that to the other side. So starting with the feet hips width distance apart, hands at heart center, gaze to the front side of the room. Shift your weight over to that standing left leg. From here, we'll inhale, lift opposite right leg 90 degrees off the mat. Same thing, try not to let that right hip lift too high. Bring the hips into a neutral position. Readjust your pose, readjust your balance. Hands are at heart center, gaze to the front side of the room. Just starting off with stork to the end. And then when you're ready, set that right palm of the foot down on towards the mat. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then again, start to shift that weight over to the standing left leg. On that next inhale, lift opposite right leg 90 degrees off the mat. Same thing, check in with the hips first. Make sure they're in a neutral position. One isn't higher than the other. And then you can either stay here and stork with the palms of the hands pressed firmly in front of your heart center, or you can exhale, really kick and press that right foot towards the front side of the room. Try not to let this right hip lift. It's really gonna wanna lift up. If that's the case, lower that right leg down a little bit until the hips are neutral, and then re-engage through that quad. Use your core strength here, you got it. Breathe in and out. And when you're ready, bend through that front right knee, moving into stork. Set that right foot down on towards the mat. Shake out that tension in the legs. Beautiful job. When you're ready, meet me back at feet being hips width distance apart. From here, we're going to heel toe the feet out 2 or 3 times. My mat's a little squeaky today. Go ahead and point the toes out into the corners of the room. You're going to feel the knees tracking with the ankles. As you inhale, sweep the fingertips up towards the sky. We're going to go for some moonflowers to finish off our practice. As you exhale, draw the elbows in towards that waistline, bend through the knees, sink the seat straight down towards the mat. Really squeeze shoulder blades here. You're going to feel every muscle in your body working. Inhale, sweep fingertips back up towards the sky. Exhale, moonflower. Inhale, we lift. You want to avoid locking out the knees when you come up. Have a slight bend here. Exhale, sink into that squat, squeeze elbows in towards the waistline. Let's go 3 more times. Breathe in. Exhale, moonflower. Last one here. Exhale, hold that moonflower, but don't hold your breath. 3 breaths in and 3 breaths out. With every exhale, can you soften the seat another inch? Last one. And then inhale, rise back up to stand. This time, pivot the big toes to point towards each other, heels pointing out towards the sides of the room. You can keep the hands reaching up towards the sky. They can come down towards the hips, or they can extend out in line with the shoulders. Deep breath in. As you exhale, gently maintaining that long line in your spine, that neutral, flat back, hinge through the hips. Release the crown of the head closer and closer and closer down towards the earth into your wide-legged forward fold. So with this wide-legged forward fold, your weight is shifting over into the outer edges of your feet, slightly in towards the balls of the feet. Really let the crown of the head reach down towards the mat. Try not to round out to the upper back through the shoulders like this. Keep the shoulders gently away from the ears. Think about maintaining a broad chest and open heart. Keep that micro bend in the knees so we're not stressing out through the joints. Let yourself breathe in and breathe out. Another deep breath in. Another deep breath out. And then when you're ready, make sure the palms of the hands are resting directly underneath the shoulders. We're going to move right hand to the center, or actually we're going to inhale, lift up into a halfway lift. Bring your right hand to the center. Inhale, we're going to sweep the left hand up towards the sky. Try not to dip this left hip in towards the mat. Keep your hips neutral. Twist all the way through the abdomen. Little spinal twist. And our halfway lift, wide-legged forward fold. Exhale, release left hand down onto the mat where your right hand once was. Again, making sure the hips are neutral. Inhale, twist all the way through the abdomen over towards the opposite side of the room. So your right hand is lifted this time. Gaze are towards the right, and you really want to avoid dipping the hips in towards the mat. Keep them nice and neutral. Exhale, release the hands down towards the center. Inhale, bring the arms in line with the shoulders. Last little bit of core strength here. Can you slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time? Point the toes out towards the corners of the room, and then let the hands come down onto the hips. Heel till the feet's in about 2 times. Keep the toes pointed out. We're going to move down into our garland pose from here. So when you're ready, hands can stay on the hips. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, gently bend through the knees, bend through the hips. Slowly lower the seat down to the earth. You can bring hands to heart center as you get closer down into that garland pose, and then gently use those elbows to press the inner edges of the thighs away. Really do your best to keep the palms of the feet flat on the floor here, so that way the heels aren't lifted, you don't have your toes curled up. If it's a little challenging to do today with the hips down so low, you can stay up in a higher position. This is a great place to be. You're going to feel this really stretch out through the glutes, through the hip flexors, and through the inner thighs. Just let yourself breathe, hands at heart center. Those hip bones sink a little closer towards the mat. Keep the shoulders down and away from the ears. And then whenever you're ready, you can bring the hands to the outer edges of the feet. Gently let the sit bones come down onto the mat and bring your knees together. Give yourself a nice big hug here. Awesome job. So our sit bones are rooted in towards the mat. Palms of the feet are on the mat. Just give yourself this time to breathe. We're gonna finish off with that little bit of core before we move into our cool down. So just like at the beginning of our practice, we're gonna go ahead and set up for a boat. You can bring hands to the back side of the thighs, or you can extend fingertips in line with the shoulders. Make sure you're keeping the chin just gently lifted away from the chest. Gather up that core strength. Inhale, lift the shins off the mats. And you can stay here for your boat. If you'd like an extra challenge, you can go ahead and inhale. Lift fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, hands back down to the shins. And just move through that for 5 breath cycles, or you can just hold your boat. On that last one, we're holding boat all together. Keep the shins lifted. Beautiful job. This is it. You got it. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, release palms of the feet towards the mat. Give the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. If you'd like to, you can gently point and flex with the toes a few times. Maybe rotate the ankles clockwise and then counterclockwise. And from here, let the palms of the feet come down on towards the mat. Hands come down by the hips, extend the legs down the length of the mat. Make sure the upper body is seated up nice and tall. Inhale, fingertips up towards the sky. Again, exhale, hinging just through the hips. Maintain that long line in your spinal column. Let the hands reach for the ankles, the shins, or maybe all the way around the toes. Just try to avoid rounding up the upper back. Keep the shoulders drawn down the length of the spine. Get a little deeper into your seated forward fold, as deep as you would like to go. And then we'll inhale, lift fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Do your best to keep the elbows by the ears. Keep the heels resting on the mat. Move into a full body stretch once you make it all the way down. So biceps are by the ears. Fingertips reach up towards the crown of the head. Point through those toes. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, grow another inch taller. Exhale, soften hands down by the hips. Whenever you're ready, again, bend through the knees. The palms of the feet come to rest onto the mat. You should almost be able to graze the back side of the heels with the fingertips. Make sure the back is all the way flush into the mat. With your hands framing the width of your hips, take a deep breath in. Squeeze through the glutes, lift the hips off of the mat, squeeze and lift and breathe. Let your shoulder blades melt into the earth. Chin is just gently lifting off of the chest. No tension in the low back, no tension in your neck. And then exhale, soften the seat down towards the mat. Inhale, bring both knees in towards the chest. Sway to the left and sway to the right. Giving your low back just a nice, gentle little massage here. And then whenever you're ready, we're coming back to the center of our mat. Hands down by the hips. Let's move into that supine tabletop position. Bring the shins parallel to the earth. Knees and quads are in line with the hips. You should feel that entire low back being supported by your mat. So there's no arch here. Really think about even just gently pressing that low back into the mat. Really easing some tension out there. And you can stay here in this supine supine tabletop position, or you can inhale, gently extend the legs up towards the sky for legs up at the wall. You can even do this with the knees bent. Just really easing that tension out of the low back. Let yourself breathe, relax, let go. You can close down the eyes, shutting down the gaze. And whenever you're ready, you can reach fingertips up towards the palms of the feet. Reach for the outer soles of the feet while drawing the knees in towards the armpits for your happy baby. And just let yourself sway to the left and sway to the right. Really keep the palms of the feet up towards the sky. And from this happy baby, you're welcome to take any final stretches that you would like to take before we move into our Shavasana today. Maybe that's a bound angle, maybe it's legs up the wall again. You can take seated pigeon, figure four, whatever feels good. Maybe even a shoulder stand or plow pose. Really use this time to just let yourself find the movement that feels best for your body today. Or if you're simply ready, you can just release the legs down the length of the mat. Let the palms of the feet come into a neutral position. Let the legs just naturally extend from the hip sockets. Maybe bring the hands down along the sides of the body. Start to close down the eyes. And for those finishing up their final stretches, go ahead and make your way down into the mat, meeting us all in our supine position. Let your eyes gently shut. The palms of the hands can either be flipped down towards the mat. If you'd like to feel a little more centered and grounded, or they can be flipped up towards the sky. Find a little bit more openness in your heart, a little bit more acceptance of your practice. You release that furrow in between the brows. You let the jaw just hang heavy. Just relax. There's no tension in the neck, in the shoulders, nothing in the low back. And let that sensation drift out of your fingertips and out of your toes. Feel the heart slow its beating back down to a resting pattern. With every breath in, feeling the lungs inflate and the chest rise, and with every breath out, feeling that relaxation, letting go of that tension, letting go of any final thoughts that may still be persisting in the mind today. I know that it can be hard to choose to let go and to choose to not have to worry, to not think. But I really encourage you here to do your best to create a blank canvas for your mind, to not focus on any one thing as you start to make your way into that meditative state of Shavasana today. Allow yourself this time to just simply be present in your mat, to be present with your breath, to find a little bit more peace at the end of your practice. And wherever you feel ready, you can begin to wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana a little bit longer, you can stay here as long as you like. For everyone else, just bring that life and sensation gently back into the physical being. Take a deep breath in, and exhale, release that breath away. And when you're ready, allow yourself to roll over onto one side of the mat. It doesn't matter too much which side. Maybe let the head rest in the crook of an elbow. The eyes can stay shut for as long as you'd like. Just let yourself gently awaken here. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to come up into an easy seated position. Let one leg cross on top of the other. Let your sit bones root into the mat. Bring the hands onto the inner thighs for just a moment, finding that connection to yourself. And then let's inhale, sweep our fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. And thank you so much for sharing your practice with me this evening. It is a blessing to see each and every single one of you on the mat. And all that is full of love and light within me honors and recognizes all that is full of love and light within you. Namaste.